in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to the final regular season race of Season 2 of the NCRA TaxSlayer Truck Series. After 19 races, race number 20 ready to be run here today at M&Ms Superspeedway, in which we will determine the 8 drivers that will battle for this season's TaxSlayer Truck Series chase for the championship. Now, out of our 3 series that are having their regular season finales here this weekend, this seems to be, and I put this in quotes, the more cut and dry series of where we get a general idea of the drivers that are going to be battling for the championship once the playoffs begin. But there's always the opportunity for someone to spoil the party, mix the pot up a little bit more, and make it down to the wire into getting the final spot into the championship hunt. Case in point, go back 1 year ago. Tyler Deaver picked up his first career win of his TaxSlayer Truck Series career here at this very racetrack. That win was enough to get him into the final spot in the chase for the championship. So will we see something like that today? We're going to have to wait and see. Now, at this point in time, we know of 6 drivers basically for sure that will be battling for the championship, that will make it in because they had multiple wins this season. Oriel Pollard with 3 wins, Tony Green, Nick Johnson, Easton Barber, Heather Gallant, and Ace Garcia all with 2. Now, the big question mark right now is on the 2 drivers right now in slots 7 and 8 who have 1 win apiece. N Stapleton comes into this race second in the point standings, and right now he's got a pretty good gap back to other drivers behind him in the standings. So I think Stapleton might be okay. The driver with all the pressure on him today is the driver that number 0 Nike Chevy Silverado, Patrick Curtis, because he comes in the 8th slot. Now, what he has to hope and pray for is one of 2 things. Number 1, a way that he could lose that slot is if somebody who's been to victory lane this season already goes to victory lane again for a second time this season. Drivers that would fit that criteria include Sky Commons, Jake Smith, Matt Haas, Marty Czekala, and Tyler Deaver, as well as Alex Hawkins, provided he can, with the second win, get into the top 30 of the points. So we'll keep tabs on those drivers for Patrick Curtis's sake. Another thing Patrick Curtis does not need to happen is a driver that's close enough in the point standings to get a victory and bypass him via points. Drivers that would fit that criteria that haven't gotten a win yet this season include Henry Williams, J Lagasee, Hillary Sanchez, Melody Baker, and R Acosta. So to be perfectly honest, there's about 10 to 12 drivers out there. If they go to victory lane, they can spoil Patrick Curtis, making it into the chase for the championship. But if none of those fruitions come to pass, Patrick Curtis will get the final slot in this season's chase. The other driver we may have to keep a little bit of an eye on, that's Ace Garcia. He's 24th in the points coming into this race. He's got about a 23-point advantage back to 30th in standing, so I think he's okay. Let's get the command real quick.
Drivers, start your engines!
So I think he's okay. I think he's still going to be in the top 30 in points to make it into the playoffs, but it's a super speedway. It's a wild card race. Anything can happen, and so we have to have ourselves prepared for absolutely every possible scenario before this race is over. It's 34 laps of racing here today, and probably for the final time this season, we're going to give you your top 10 in the point standings. The rest of the season, we'll just be giving you your playoff drivers when they're running in points. So, for the final time this season, your top 10 in the point standings, presented by Golden Corral. Tony Green is the points leader, 12 points in hand over Nathan Stapleton. We'll see if these two will finish out their battle for the points lead here on this final regular season race. Patrick Curtis, he's third in the points, 31 points out of the points lead. Henry Williams, he's in 4th. J Lagasee 5th. Hillary Sanchez 6th. Melody Baker 7th. Ryan Acosta 8th. Sky Commons right now at 9th. And Nick Johnson, the defending champion, will be defending his title. He is 10th in the points. Rest of the other drivers that come into this race with multiple wins that at this point are locked into the playoffs. Oreo Pollard, 13th in points, 3-time winner. 2-time winner E Barber, 15th. Heather Gallant is 16th. And we mentioned already the aforementioned Ace Garcia is in 24th, and someone's blown up. Someone just blew up. Is that Caitlin Tsang? Oh man, right on the grid, Caitlin Tsang. Oh, is it Caitlin? Yes, it is Caitlin Tsang. I wasn't sure if it was Caitlin Tsang or if it was Harrison Ponder, because Ponder backed off all of a sudden. And this is not good because they're going to have her stuck in the middle. She's not going to be able to get to pit road. Oh, I don't like this. This is going to be a very interesting start. They may not even allow her to get to pit road. She may have to take the green flag with the field. Now Jake Smith's going to be a good Samaritan and let her get down there. But that's a tough break for Caitlin, who was hoping for a good run here today. Still chasing her first TaxSlayer Truck Series win. As a matter of fact, she's trying to chase her second career NNSCRA overall victory. Of course, she won at Eldora in the Hershey's Cup Series back in the day. But the green flag is out. Let's roll. Final time of the regular season at M&Ms. Z Winkle lined up on the pole position, and of course, last year, the team that he drives for, Flickinger Racing Development, put both their drivers into the chase for the championship. Then Marcus Aachi and eventual champion Nick Johnson. PJ Williams comes into this race mired all the way down in the 37th position in points, even though he's a former winner this season for Bristol Dirt. And Z Winkle trying to at least get the second Flickinger Racing Development car in victory lane as Nick Johnson goes to the lead. And here come the Smart Motorsports, the Cody Smart Motorsports Ford F-Series to the inside. The 19 of Jake Smith, the 29 of Isaac Nicholls. Now remember, Jake Smith is one of those drivers that Patrick Curtis does not need to go to victory lane, and one driver just went down below the yellow line there. I think that was Patrick Smith. I think he may have gotten forced down there, though, as they were practically 5 wide in the middle of the pack. Nick Johnson, 2-time winner this season, would love to be able to tie Oreo Pollard for most wins heading into the playoffs and tie for the #1 seed. 3 wide behind him. Another danger driver for Patrick Curtis. That would be the 7 of Alex Hawkins. Went to victory lane back at Monster Rally. Hawkins, former winner, comes into this race, currently scored 32nd in points, although he's only 11 points back from 30th in the standings. So if he gets a second win, gets into the top 30 in points, then he's in and Curtis is out. N Stapleton, he's just basically got to have a good day, finish ahead of Patrick Curtis, and he will more than likely get either the 7th or 8th seed into the playoffs. Well, they're awfully anxious here early on, no doubt about that. I don't think I've seen a steady truck in the middle of the field this whole time. There's Ace Garcia in the 51. Now remember, he just basically has to have a good run to keep himself in the top 30 in points after going to victory lane in one of the dual races last week at DuQuoin. It was enough to lock him up a spot in the playoffs. And a little ways back there in the middle is Tony Green, his teammate, who ended up taking the first dual race. So there's a couple more trucks down the apron there. One of them with Heather Gallant. The other one, Ryan Acosta. Gallant's already locked in. Acosta needs a win to get into the playoffs. Harrison Ponder there in the 2-car. He comes into this race situated currently in the 29th position in points, so even if he goes to victory lane, he's not high enough to be able to take away the final slot from Patrick Curtis. Look at Paul Minnick up the middle there. He nearly ran over, I think that was Garcia and Isaac Nicholls. Close call there is Austin LaPlante. We'll move into second place. LaPlante had a good run last week in his dual race, had a top 10 run if I recall correctly. And now might try and play some defense for his Thor Sport teammate as the caution is out for the first time here today at M&Ms. And I believe the leaders took it. It's like a wreck up in turn 1. It's not the normal spot that we have wrecks take place here at M&M's. Usually it's out of the turn 4 vicinity and onto the front straightaway, as it looked like, I'm not sure if I saw exactly who it was, but I think it might have been the 23 of Andrew Miller, who started outside of the front row here for this race, who was involved in the wreck. Patrick Smith is coming to pit road. He's got damage. Possible damage maybe on the 28 of Michael Haas, and there is Miller. Whoa, he just nearly ran into Marty Czekala there. Not sure what the 23 is doing. I think he's actually going by all these drivers because he was on the lead lap when the caution came out. He's getting around the pace car. But it looks like the 23 and the 05 at least give us a clue as to who was involved in this wreck. And we're going to stay here with the leaders before we go back and look at a replay. For the reason of that there are 34 laps in this race, and fuel could be an issue. These drivers may not be able to make it the entirety of the way. So if they do have to come to pit road, we'll want to follow this battle on pit lane. Going back and looking at the statistics here, yes, Austin LaPlante finished 4th in the second dual race back last week at DuQuoin. Got a couple of strategists here. Ryan Brommer in the 11, who ended up having a poor performance last week when he had a mechanical problem in his dual race. It looked like Marty Czekala also stayed out. Remember, Czekala, a former winner, needs to get a second win to snatch away that final spot in the playoffs from Patrick Curtis. So we'll see if that works out to his benefit. Caution's out for the first time here today at M&M's. Let's go back and look at a replay. Well, what can we find out here going into turn 1? Watch that yellow car there, Patrick Curtis. Oh, yep. He moves up. Michael Haas is already to his outside. And then he gets hooked in the right rear quarter panel. Oh, and look who got a piece of that. Just barely with the front. That was Patrick Curtis. Oh my goodness. Andrew Miller up and over after hitting the outside safer barrier up on his lid. That truck, I think, does come back down on all 4 wheels, but I didn't know we had a truck flip over. So, Miller, Michael Haas, and Patrick Smith. That's the reason for the caution coming out. Possible damage on Patrick Curtis. The good news for Curtis is, though, he's high enough in points that a poor performance isn't really going to hurt him. He doesn't have to worry about getting a good run today. He needs other drivers that have a shot at his playoff spot to not have a good run. That's basically the strategy he's running on right now. But that's what brought out the caution for the first time here today at M&M's. Let's go back for the restart. The lights are on top of the pace truck, so we'll go back green on lap 9 of 34, which according to my calculations, I believe we would have 16 laps remaining in this race. Nope, I'm wrong. 26 laps remaining in this race. As you can see, 3 drivers are out of the race. 2 drivers due to crash damage from that incident. Andrew Miller and Patrick Smith, and C Tsang really didn't even get to take the green flag. Blew up on the starting grid out of the race with a gearbox issue. So apparently had a problem getting the truck fired up there when they rolled off. Got one truck that is a lap down. That is J Lagasee. That's actually an important truck because that's one of the drivers that had a shot of, with a win, taking away the final playoff spot from Patrick Smith. Now, I might be just seeing things, but it looks like there's some rear end damage on the rear wing of that 11 truck out in front here, Ryan Brommer. Maybe I'm just seeing things incorrectly, but that's what it looks like to me. He'll restart the leader, though. Marty Czekala there in second. Those 2 drivers did not come to pit road under this caution, so they're apparently expecting that is not the last yellow we are going to see during the course of this event. Nick Johnson came to pit road as the leader. He'll restart third with Austin LaPlante in fourth. Harrison Ponder fifth. Rest of the top 10 are Isaac Nicholls, Paul Minnick, Heather Gallant, Ace Garcia, and PJ Williams. Ryan Brommer set to lead us down here to get the green flag back out and back in the air. Already Nick Johnson hounding Marty Czekala for second place. Nick Johnson came to pit road. I don't rightly know if he ended up taking tires or not. Woo! Czekala tried to throw the block on him there. And they're going to go 3 wide for the lead down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Nick Johnson's got a strong truck. There's no doubt about that. One driver I'm going to be very curious to see if he pops up here, at least near the closing stages, and that's Tyler Deaver. We already alluded to the fact that he's the defending winner of this race, pulling off a victory last minute and making it into last year's playoff system. Well, if he goes to victory lane here today, if lightning strikes twice, he again would have a shot clock cheese into the playoffs. Now, Nick Johnson's out in front. Ryan Acosta is his teammate behind him, and Acosta has a chance with a victory to possibly pass Patrick Curtis in the point standings and get into the playoffs. So, I mean, when you think about M&Ms, the one race that stands out to me is Season 4 Hershey's Cup Series race. Oh my goodness! We nearly had the leaders wreck. Ryan Acosta with Isaac Nicholls almost up into Nick Johnson, and we just avoided one there, folks. That was a little close for comfort. That made my heart jump. Go back to what I was going to say. We had Trent Dunham, who was already locked into the playoffs, push his teammate Blaine Keys to the win. That got Blaine Keys into the playoffs as well. Would we see something like that here today? There's a scenario right here where Ryan Acosta could get by Nick Johnson. Nick Johnson could play defense. Nick's already locked into the playoffs. Would he be willing to help a Thor Sport teammate get into the playoffs? And are we under caution? I couldn't tell. Well, Acosta's going to get the lead from his teammate. Trying to see if we can find a caution light on the side wall here, and I'm not being able to see one because I think I saw yellow lights, but maybe we're still green. Have to wait till we get down here to the stripe, I guess, to find out if we're under caution or not. As here comes PJ Williams to the inside. Here comes Easton Barber 3 wide, and we are still green. 4 wide. Here comes Zach Winkle way down low. 4 wide for the lead going into turn 1. This is why we come to M&Ms. The racing is so much fun all the way through the field. They're 5 wide back there with Nathan Stapleton in the middle. Jonathan Zoerlein's in that 5 wide formation. As up front, Zach Winkle back to where he started, out in the lead, but here comes Joseph Romero on the inside line. And now it's looking like the lead's going to be awfully difficult for drivers to hold on to. Romero out in front. How long's he going to stay out there? Trouble! Oh, 1 car up and over, 2 trucks up and over. PJ Williams, Preston Plourd, hard to the wall, flipping as the caution comes out for the 2nd time here today at M&Ms. That's the big trouble spot here, and it definitely was a trouble spot for a number of drivers. 2 trucks were up and in the air, the 10 of Williams, the 69 of Plourd, and I think a lot of others were caught up in that one. Romero beat Hawkins to the line, so he'll lead us under pacing. That's the caution I think that Brommer and Czekala were banking on when they decided to stay out after the first caution. Hillary Sanchez is on pit road. Her playoff hopes done. Michael Whitman's on pit road. There's Preston Plourd, Isaac Nicholls, Zoerlein. There's Stapleton. I don't know how bad the damage is on his truck. Oh, a lot of damage on his truck. Nicholas Raill, Jake Moss. Matt Haas may have some damage, so that could be his playoff hopes dashed. Don't know about some of these drivers back here. I almost think Nick Johnson may have gotten a piece because he faded back very quickly through the field. Don't think I see any damage on his truck, though. Maybe a buckle on the hood. Yeah, I think he does have some front end damage. Looks like rear end damage on Sky Commons, as well as the 12 of Alexander Rowe. And right there is a driver. Very lucky that he got through it. Patrick Curtis. As it looks like we're going to have some drivers come to pit road here under this yellow flag. Field got awfully split up here. Well, maybe not. I think Oriole Pollard was scored ahead of Harrison Ponder, as well as Brandon Joyce, so they had to get back around him into their correct spots. I think pits are open, and we do have some takers. Winkle, Baker, Deaver, Gallant, Curtis, Barber, Henry Williams. So we got some that are staying out, some that are coming to pit road. I think we can guarantee some of those coming to pit road would include Marty Czekala and Ryan Brommer. But Joseph Romero will lead us under caution. Let's go back and see the big one that took place here out of turn 4. Well, just one lap before this, P.J. Williams was in a 4-wide battle for the race lead. Let's see where the contact began. Look down bottom of your screen. I think the 69 Preston Plourd crowds. Caitlin Tsang up into Nathan Stapleton, up into Jonathan Zoerlein, and P.J. Williams nowhere to go. Another truck got air there, the Hillary Sanchez, number 73. There's Matt Haas getting involved. Czekala was in it in the 18. Didn't know that he had gotten collected. Isaac Nicholls, as Plourd's upside down. Someone clobbered the 29. Might have been LaPlante. It might have been Sky Commons. I'm not sure which one. Look at Preston. That truck catches the grass up onto the wall. Continues to flip. My word. Look at that wild. Oh, no. Is he going to do a seal trick? Yes, he is. Oh, my. Look at this. We've got a perfect view here of this flip by the 69. Is he going to flip onto pit road? Don't tell me. Oh, is he going to make it over? Oh, my goodness. The 69 went pole vaulting. 10 out of 10. Oh, my word. There's Stapleton back there. I believe that's Nicholls that's come to pit road. The 53 of Whitman. I don't know if he got involved or not, or if he just came down pit road to avoid the wreck. Further back there, you see Nicholas Raill, the 54, the 73 of Hillary Sanchez. See how some of these others got collected up in this wreck. Let's look for the 54 of Raill. And they all just got swept up. I don't know if we get a better camera view here or not. See how soon the TV2 camera swaps over. Okay, so we are going to get a pretty good look here. Oh, Whitman got forced down pit road by, it looked like, Austin LaPlante. There's Nicholas Raill. Oh, Jake Moss. Hard hit into that inside wall. Nick Johnson was involved there in the 41, along with his teammate Zoerlein in the 88. Ryan Acosta was in it, along with Paul Minnick. And we're going to jump back up again and take a look at the wild flip by Preston Plourd in the 69. As it looks like the 8 of Matt Haas, I think when he spun, he got forced to pit road. And right there, just enough for the 69 Ford F-Series to get over the wall. Well, M&Ms isn't exactly known for its flips, but we had about 4 different trucks that were flipping there. The 10, the 69, the 73, all flipping over out of turn 4. Big wreck, and it's making our playoff scenario window a little bit smaller as this race progresses. Lights are out on top of the pace truck. Green flag will come back out just at the halfway point of this race. You see some drivers on the inside line a lap down, including Isaac Nicholls, J Lagasee, and Marty Czekala. They're the lucky ones, because out of the race include Austin LaPlante, Nick Johnson, Jonathan Zoerlein. So there's 3 of the ThorSport trucks out just like that. Nathan Stapleton, Jake Moss, P.J. Williams, Preston Plourd, all in the garage area as well. Lagasee is 3 laps down. Czekala and Nicholls are each 1 lap down apiece. Now here's the interesting thing that I was just looking at. The gap between Nathan Stapleton and Patrick Curtis coming into this race was 19 points. It looks like Stapleton's going to finish out this race officially in 36th. So, if Patrick Curtis is able to finish in 16th place or better, he would move into the number 7 seed, and that would move Stapleton onto the bubble to be eliminated if a driver is able to get their 2nd win of the season in this race. It would be Stapleton who would get displaced. And right now, Patrick Curtis is being scored in the 27th position. Keep in mind, he did get a little bit of damage from the first caution of the day. So we'll keep tabs on the zero truck, see if he can make any forward progress. But at the moment, Patrick Curtis is still in the hot seat in that final playoff spot. Green flag set to come back out here on lap 17. We've got 18 laps to go here at M&Ms. Woo! Look back there, Z Winkle going low, and N Raill went to block him. Now some of the drivers up here at the front that Patrick Curtis does not want to see include the 19 and the 7. A win for either one of those drivers means they get into the playoffs, and Patrick Curtis does not. Last year, that 83 truck went to victory lane with Joshua Hyatt, and if memory serves me correctly, I believe that that truck also made it into the playoffs that year. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case this year, though. Joseph Romero comes into this race currently in the dead last position in the point standings, so even a win would not be anywhere close to getting him into playoff contention. Jake Smith right there, that 19. A few weeks ago, it was between himself and Ace Garcia battling for that final playoff spot. Now, Jake Smith finds him basically in a must-win situation in order to get into the playoffs. Right behind him, Brandon Joy in the 70. Brandon Joy just trying to get his first victory of the season. He's too far down in the points for him to be able to get a slot in the playoffs. He's 14th in the standings, which doesn't sound bad, but when the driver you're trying to chase down for the final playoff spot is 3rd in points, it's a pretty insurmountable gap to try and have to breach. Ricky Cervantes ran well last week at DuQuoin in his duel, trying to get his first win of his career, and here comes Ace Garcia. Garcia got a taste of getting back to victory lane last week at DuQuoin. Also a former winner this season at a super speedway, Daytona. So would love to be able to get his 3rd win. Here comes Angel Olvera to the inside there in the 89. Olvera, if Angel had had maybe about 10 more points to his total, he could have had a shot with a win to get into the playoffs, but too far down, 11th in points. Not seeing too many of the drivers via points that could get in with a win that are up here towards the front. Hillary Sanchez has got crash damage. J Lagasee's pinned 3 laps down. Ryan Acosta was at the tail end of the field for the start. So the only drivers right now that I guess are still in the hunt would be Melody Baker, Henry Williams. And I don't see either of them up inside the top 10. Here comes Harrison Ponder for 2nd on Angel Olvera, and there was almost some contact there between those two. Let's jump back, find the 0 of Patrick Curtis. Where's he at? There he is. Back around some of those drivers that he needs to worry about, actually. Henry Williams and Melody Baker are back here. Got a truck hitting pit road, looks like. That's Michael Haas in the 28. Ryan Acosta also back here. So right now, Patrick Curtis is in a very good spot as far as drivers that could get a win and beat him in the point standings with 1 win. What he's got to worry about now is drivers up there that could maybe pick up their 2nd win of the season and displace him. And right now, the closest driver that could do that would be, believe it or not, last year's winner, Tyler Deaver. There he is. It's like Deaver, Jake Smith in the 19, and Alex Hawkins. Those 3 are the biggest threat right now for Patrick Curtis. A couple more drivers hit pit road. I believe that was Ace Garcia in the 51. I believe it was also the 83 of Joseph Romero. So this may be the final stop of the day for these drivers, apparently feeling that this race will potentially go green the rest of the way. Michael Haas returns back to the racetrack after his pit stop. Now it's coming down to green flag pit strategy. as to who's going to win this race. When you look up here, there's a lot of candidates that Patrick Curtis would be fine with going to victory lane. Cervantes, Ponder, Pollard, Wyatt Walker, Angel Olvera. Anybody but Deaver, Smith, or Hawkins. Looks like Oriole Pollard's coming in, as are a number of others. Cervantes, Olvera with a late turn to pit road. Ponder is in. Smith, Hawkins, Walker, looked like Joy, and I couldn't tell who that other truck was back there. Truck with a black hood, it might have been Tyler Deaver. Nope, it was Tristan Allen. Battle is on for the lead. It's between, actually no, it's not for the lead. Matt Haas is the race leader there in the 8. I didn't even realize he was out in front. And that's another driver that is a potential spoiler for Patrick Curtis, the former Hershey's Cup Series champion, former winner, and he's 22nd in the points, so if he gets his second win, he's in the playoffs. Didn't even realize he was in the race lead. Thought the race lead battle was between Heather Gallant, Zach Winkle, Tyler Deaver, and they're about to catch some slow traffic here. Whoa, where are they all going to go? Winkle found the right way to go. Blew by everybody on that inside line, and he's going to drive away for the moment. That's not exactly a good thing at a super speedway. Tyler Deaver now breaks free of the slower traffic. Michael Whitman's on the lead lap. I didn't even realize that. Whitman was forced to pit road on that last caution. Got his pit stop done, came back out, was still on the lead lap, and he's up here now in the 3rd position. Great run right there for that 53. He and Tyler Deaver trying to work together now to run down Matt Haas. Actually, it'd be Zach Winkle, rather, for the race lead. And here comes Heather Gallant to make her stop. Got a couple of drivers that have caught up here now because of that stack up. Tony Green, Easton Barber, and there's Henry Williams in the 62. Ryan Brommer in the 11 is there as well, so this thing ain't over yet. Henry Williams still has a shot. Matt Haas still has a shot. And look at Patrick Curtis up there in the 4th position. Nothing better to lock him into the playoffs than to maybe get another win here this season. He's up front, top 3, Winkle, Whitman, and Deaver. And right now, it is the 30 of Tyler Deaver that is probably worrying Patrick Curtis. And Curtis is, I thought he was coming to pit road. Nope, he's up there in 4th place, working with the lap machine of J Lagasee to get up there with this top trio. 9 laps to go here at M&Ms. And do these drivers have the fuel to get there? A number of drivers have already hit pit road. And I have a feeling that none of these drivers up here in this front pack are going to be able to make it without coming to pit road. I don't think they're going to be able to stretch it. Unless they want to risk it and try and get a playoff spot with a Hail Mary. Look at some of these contenders we got up here now. Deaver, Curtis, Williams, Matt Haas. And Curtis going to do everything he can to try and keep that 30 of Deaver out of victory lane, as now Matt Haas in the 8. He's going to give up a top 10 to come to pit road. It's a question of when do these other drivers have to hit pit lane. Here comes Tony Green, who got his 2nd win of the season last week. He's going to move by Tyler Deaver. He's now cracked the top 5, bringing Ryan Brommer along with him. Green's already locked into the playoffs, but he'd love to get a 3rd win this season, as they're going to have to maneuver their way around the slower damaged machine of Hillary Sanchez. She stays low for them all, so very courteous, the 73, giving way to the battle for the race lead, as here comes Henry Williams. Now this is not good for Patrick Curtis. Although, when you think about it, Patrick Curtis isn't the driver in trouble. It's Michael Whitman's on pit road. I think Ryan Brommer just hit pit lane. Right now, with where Patrick Curtis is running, he would be ahead of Nathan Stapleton in the point standings, which means right now Nathan Stapleton's the one in the hot seat, and he's behind the wall. He's not able to do a thing about this. he could get displaced by his William Brock Motorsports teammate in the playoffs if Henry Williams closes the deal here. They're all going to get single file now. That's the top 6, along with the lap machine of Lagasee. I think they're all going to try and maybe save some fuel here. Don't know if it's going to work. I don't think they can make it. See if anybody hits pit road this lap. E Barber is on pit road, along with Lagasee. And then there were 5 in this lead group. Plus, you've also got the 12 of Alexander Rowe right there, trying to reel in these drivers. He's probably getting a tremendous amount of suck up, and that's probably helping him on fuel mileage as well. Winkle started on the pole, would love to finish in position 1. For Henry Williams, a playoff spot's on the line with a victory. Same for Patrick Curtis, same for Tyler Deaver. And Tony Green just wants to find victory lane again for the 3rd time this season, 2nd time in 2 weeks. Here comes Henry to the bottom. And here comes Patrick Curtis. I think Patrick Curtis is going to try and play spoiler as much as he can with the 62 and the 30. If he has to push someone to victory lane, I think he would push the 90, the 4, or the 12. Anyone but Williams and Deaver. Alexander Rowe now up here with this group. We got 6 trucks in this lead pack. And we got 5 laps to go. We know already Green, Johnson, Pollard, Barber, Gallant, and Garcia. They will all be in the playoffs. But the final 2 spots, who will they be? Right now, one of them looks like it will be Patrick Curtis. But what about the other one? Will it be Stapleton? Will it be Henry Williams? Zach Winkle looks to the inside, and there you see it. Curtis more than willing to help push the 90, and now here come all 6 drivers in the lead pack to pit road. This is where it's going to get interesting. I believe Melody Baker is also coming to pit lane. She was out all this length of time and was in 7th place. This is the money stop right here. And where are these drivers going to cycle out is when they hit the line just now. One of the leaders crossed the line. I think it was the 90 crossed the stripe. That put us at 4 laps remaining. Coming off pit road, let's see if they're going to leave with the top 6 spots, or is somebody with their pit strategy going to cycle around ahead of them? If they do cycle, it will be the 62 of Henry Williams as the race leader. Is there anybody catching up here that could play spoiler? Here's that second group. Cervantes, Oreo Pollard, Easton Barber, and Jake Smith. Can they produce enough speed to get up there? They're going to have their progress halted by Marty Czekala, who nearly just got ran over by Angel Olvera. Henry Williams has the lead. Winkle's in 2nd. Rowe is in 3rd. 4th is Curtis, 5th is Deaver, 6th Tony Green, and then you've got this group from 7th on back that could be the group that moves, but do they have enough time? Being led by Ricky Cervantes, you can see the speed difference as he very quickly reels in the 4 of Tony Green. It's got Oreo Pollard in that group, Ryan Brommer, Joseph Romero, Ace Garcia, and Jake Smith. Now they're going to catch Patrick Curtis in the 5th position. I think they got enough time to get up here with this top trio if they don't get held up by somebody. Alexander Rowe now out in front. Winkle into 2nd. Henry Williams in 3rd. And now Winkle looks for the spot. Trying to go coast to coast. It's 2 laps to go. Watch the telemetry, top of your screen. About 4.2 seconds back to 4th place. Let's see if that closes up this time. Nope, it grew by about 0.3. They apparently lost some momentum when they caught the 30 of Tyler Deaver, and now they're racing 3 wide in this group. So this may hinder them in catching this top 3. It may be these 3 to settle it. And they're about to catch some traffic themselves. Hillary Sanchez in the 73, Nicholas Raill in the 54. Where's the traffic going to go? Woo! Oh, that inside line's going to get held up by Nicholas Raill. That's going to help that second pack. The longer they get stuck behind the 54, the easier it's going to be for that second pack to maybe catch them. They're about half a straightaway behind. White flag displayed this time. Rowe, Winkle, Williams. The only driver right now that has a playoff spot on the line with a victory could be that 62. The gap was closed up by almost a second and a half. Back to fourth place, but I don't think they're going to have enough time. Nope, there's fourth place, Ace Garcia. They're still about half a straightaway behind. I don't think they're going to catch him. Here's the battle potentially for the win. Winkle to the bottom. Rowe up topside. Here comes Henry Williams in the 62. Trying to get to the inside line. They got a slower car there of Michael Haas. They're going to try and drag race to the line, but Zach Winkle will go coast to coast. It's his first win of the season. And I believe that ices it and has the final two playoff spots indeed go to Nathan Stapleton and Patrick Curtis. Winkle came into this race 39th in points. So certainly a team that's been struggling this year, needing a win. He gets it. And for the second straight year, the two entries out of Flickinger Racing Development go to victory lane, although this year neither of them will be representing in the chase for the championship. But Zach Winkle started on the pole and managed to win the race. That's quite a feat at M&Ms Super Speedway, no doubt about that. So our 8 are determined for this season's chase for the championship. It will be Oriole Pollard, Tony Green, Nick Johnson, Easton Barber, Heather Gallant, Ace Garcia, Nathan Stapleton, and Patrick Curtis, who will battle for this season's Oreo Truck Series Championship. Standings are official. There you see Garcia in 8th, so he stayed ahead of the top 30 in points. Great runs for future championship competitors Tony Green, Easton Barber there in 4th and 5th. Tyler Deaver was hoping Lightning would strike twice. Not able to have it happen. 9th place is where he finished. Oriole Pollard there in 10th. Patrick Curtis brought it home in 13th. Look on down there. Heather Gallant in 21st. And then the rest of your playoff contenders, I think, finished out of this race. Nick Johnson in 34th. Nathan Stapleton in 36th. But it's a DNF. Not enough to knock them out of playoff contention. They will be the 8 representatives that will battle for the playoffs here this season for the championship. The question is, though, which one of them will be champion? Only 2 of those drivers have been in the playoffs before last season, those being Ace Garcia and the defending champion Nick Johnson. So we'll have to see if veteran playoff experience will help those 2 particular drivers. But that is going to do it here from M&Ms. Zach Winkle gets the win. Our 8 playoff contenders are determined. Thank you all for tuning in to today's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have showed you your full finishing results. These are your rookie point standings, your overall point standings, and for the first time this season, your newly reformatted playoff standings with your 8 playoff contenders. Up next is the Pizza Next Series Chase for the Championship. That will have to be determined. And then the Hershey's Cup Series Chase Grid will be put together as well to finish off what should be an exciting weekend here from the M&Ms Super Speedway. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching production of the NCRA Offline Racing at its best.